Which conspiracy theory is so believable that it might be true? Robert Kardashian destroyed evidence that would have convicted O.J. He was handed a Louis Vuitton garment bag by O.J.'s assistant right as O.J. returned from Chicago. None of the cops paid any attention to him as he walked away with the bag. When the bag theory was discovered a month later, Kardashian claimed to have lost it. Man, the authorities f***ed that case up in pretty much every way possible. When I worked as a correctional officer a decade ago, it was the case study on how to not handle evidence. The Reddit search function is intentionally bad, or not purposely bad, but they know how to fix it but refuse to encourage more new posts. Apple started the meme about AirPods being expensive as a marketing ploy. Happened around Christmas. You might be right. PETA is controlled opposition run by the meat industry, designed to make animal rights activists look bad. They act so insane and overly petty at times I can almost believe this one. I can't believe my most upvoted comment is just a passive remark that basically restates the post. That the government made this post to see if we were onto them. The reason Disney came out with a movie called Frozen was so that when you Googled Disney Frozen, you would get information about the movie and not websites talking about Walt Disney's body being frozen. And don't forget about Disney on Ice too. Cops go on ways and leave random police sightings to cause people to slow without actually having to stay and check on people. One guy actually posted on Reddit that he did this so that his traffic duty was easier. It's better than giving tickets. Edit: there are states that have banned ticket quotas. The real reason Apple removed the headphone jack was to try to remove Square Pay systems as a competitor for Apple Pay. Edit: first gold comment, thanks guys. Snapchat worked with the FBI to popularize, and secretly test and improve, face recognition technology. We went from wow, this is like magic to this is totally normal in a few years, and there's no way that the technology isn't being used by law enforcement. Have you read the terms and agreements of Snapchat? It's not that secret that most social media is selling your information, including the one we're using right now. Lotteries are actually traps for time travelers. Stephen Hawking already held a party for time travelers, and no one showed up. If I were a time traveler, or have any magic/supernatural powers, the last thing I would do is to reveal myself to the scientific community, or to anyone else for that matter. The development of the F-35 fighter jet is so over budget so the military can fund other top-secret projects without making a new line item on the budget. It's the only conspiracy theory I believe. $10,000 for a hammer. $20,000 for a toilet seat. D.B. Cooper, the gentleman that disappeared with $200K after jumping out of a Boeing 727 that he had hijacked, took the money and created www.imdb.com. I was halfway through typing my Google search before I realized it was a pun. I always hear the advice that in order to stop being heckled by Scientologists, just ask where Shelley went, or ask about the circumstances of her disappearance. It usually shuts them up. One of my favorites is that the government was behind #Throwback Thursday, in order to get us to digitize and upload pictures that they would not have had access to, in order to improve age progression/facial recognition algorithms. I don't know about Throwback Thursday, but the 10-year challenge provided anyone who wanted to grab it a massive amount of training material for a face recognition AI. Maybe the 10-year challenge was born when the government, or Facebook, or the Chinese/Russians, heard the conspiracies about Throwback Thursday and said, you know what? That's actually not the worst idea. YouTube in a mobile browser is so they can force you to use the app and not use an ad blocker. This is true for most mobile sites, this one included. Not only do they want to run their ads, they want the data that an app can get compared to a website. Multiple football World Cups have been influenced either by governments hosting them, or other entities out for their own gain. 2002 South Korea/Japan and 1978 and Argentina are the two most obvious ones that come to mind. It's well known that international sports, including soccer and the Olympics, are huge septic pools of corruption. FIFA is absolutely the most corrupt organization in sports. Long John Silver's is some kind of money laundering scheme, on the basis that they have been open for as long as I can remember, but I have also literally never seen a busy Long John's. Toxic delusion that I ironically entertain? Perhaps. The oil and coal industries invested heavily in killing off nuclear power as an attractive alternative. These days we have reactor designs many times safer than other methods of generating power, and the waste issue is something that could be fixed with sufficient investment. Not even a matter of these days. Even taking into account disasters like Chernobyl, estimated around 4,000 premature deaths, and Fukushima, 600, nuclear is incredibly safe compared to coal's 5,000 accidents per year. Nuclear kills 90 people per petawatt-hour generated, whereas coal kills 100,000 people per petawatt-hour, mainly because of lung problems worldwide. Even if we don't take into account the climate change contribution, most of those deaths are easily avoidable if we switch to nuclear. Edit. Here is the source of the deaths per energy unit claim. It's Forbes. Not the best, but it's what I found with a quick Google search. Also edit. A lot of people are telling me that Fukushima had 0 radiation-related deaths, and that the numbers for Chernobyl are also debatable, but most people here claim the ones I posted as too high. I intentionally chose some of the highest estimates I found when Googling just to be on the safe side of supporting nuclear energy, so that this comment couldn't be disregarded just by saying you estimated too few kills. Nuclear kills so many more. Even when choosing some of the highest numbers, those numbers pale against the deaths caused by fossil fuels. Everyone should learn to code is a movement to flood the market with software engineers so that salaries can be reduced. That's also why they're dropping software engineer as a title, for the lesser title of coder. The president of the Philippines, Duterte, is very anti-drugs to hide his own involvements with drug cartels off which he makes billions. Some organization/group of people wanted all the Kennedys dead for some reason. Edit. The term conspiracy theory and its poor connotation was created by the US government specifically for skeptics of the official JFK assassination story. Just felt I should put that out there. Trader Joe's makes their parking lots small on purpose to make them seem more popular than they really are. Kyle Kinane. The government experiments on the mentally insane because no one will believe someone with that kind of medical history. 2 conspiracy theorists walk into a bar. You can't tell me that was just coincidence, man.